Warning for those who have passed the 40-year mark. What if I told you that your body, at this very moment, is keeping a detailed record of every sleepless night, every bit of anger you swallowed, and every skipped meal over the last 2 decades? After 40, your body is no longer just yours. It has a memory, and it remembers every time you said, "I'll rest later." Today, we're not going to talk about abstract theories. I'm going to give you 8 critical points. 8 habits that, if you don't stop now, you'll pay a high price for. And this isn't a threat. It's pure statistics. But this isn't a fictional script to scare you. It's a map for you to regain control. Stay with me, because the following information may be the most important ULL here to ensure that your next 20 years are the best, not the hardest, of your life. The problem, after all, isn't aging. The problem is how we choose to age. Scientifically, from the age of 40, we enter a phase where the biological margin of error decreases drastically. What used to be just a hangover is now a 3-day systemic inflammation. What used to be work stress is now silently turning into hypertension. Let's separate the facts from the alarmism. The goal here isn't to transform you into a Tibetan monk or an Olympic athlete overnight. The goal is the preservation of your biological machine. I've prepared a list based on data from longitudinal studies, such as the famous Harvard study of adult development, and on real stories I've witnessed. These are 8 behaviors that drain your vital energy. And the 8th point, the 8th, is the one that silently destroys mental health more than any physical illness. So, settle in. Let's have a serious, face-to-face conversation about what needs to change today. Point 1. Controlling the uncontrollable. Number 1. The obsession with controlling what doesn't depend on you. Let me tell you Marcus's quick story. A brilliant executive, 45 years old. Marcos would wake up at 5 a.m. already checking the dollar exchange rate and political news. He spent his days tense about the economy, the traffic, and the board decisions he couldn't change. The result? At 47, Marcos didn't have a financial crisis. He had a heart attack. Simply put, this happens because the brain doesn't distinguish between the threat of a lion in the jungle and the threat of an imaginary economic crisis. It floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. The Framingham study, which tracks the heart health of generations, clearly shows living in a constant state of alert for things you do control is the express route to cardiovascular disease. The most important point here is context. If you can't solve the problem, worrying about it is paying interest on a debt you didn't even incur. Accept the chaos of the world. Focus only on what your hands can reach and transform. The rest is noise. Point 2. The digital comparison trap. Point 2. The addiction to comparing your behind the scenes with the stage of others on social media. Seems harmless, right? But scientifically, for the brain of someone over 40, thesis point, you see your college friend traveling to the Maldives, your neighbor changing cars, and your mind, which was programmed for survival and hierarchy, panics. Where did I go wrong? You ask yourself. Studies from the University of Chicago show that life satisfaction tends to follow a U-curve, reaching its lowest point precisely in middle age. Social media deepens this hole. Understand and avoid this transmission route of unhappiness. You are comparing your chapter 20, full of real struggles, bills, and challenges, with someone else's edited best moments. This generates chronic anxiety that disrupts your sleep and blood pressure. At 40, maturity is understanding that the neighbor's grass is synthetic. Take care of your own garden. Point 3. The sleep debt. Number 3. Thinking that sleeping little is a productivity trophy. I'll sleep when I die. If you keep thinking like that, that day will come sooner than you imagine. For years, we've been taught that sleeping 4 or 5 hours is a sign of strength. But let's clarify something very important. Sleep isn't just rest, it's neurochemical cleansing. There's a system in your brain called the glymphatic system that works primarily while you're in deep sleep. HITS function. Nucleum beta-amyloid, a protein that, when accumulated, is directly linked to Alzheimer's. After 40, fragmented sleep becomes more common, but ignoring this is dangerous. If you don't sleep, you don't repair muscle tissue. You don't regulate insulin, and you don't consolidate memory. Don't compromise your pillow. Duck in the room. Put your cell phone away an hour beforehand. Sleep is the fundamental pillar on which your health rests. Without it, the structure collapses. Point 4. The weight of resentment. Point 4. Carrying cherished grudges. Imagine you're carrying a backpack full of stones. Each stone is a name. That ex-partner who betrayed you. The relative who spoke ill of you. The boss who didn't promote you in 2010. You've been carrying this for years. Psychosomatic medicine is clear. Resentment is inflammatory. Holding grudges keeps your sympathetic nervous system activated. It SD, fight or flight mode switched on 24 hours a day. This corrodes your arteries. There is an old saying, holding a grudge is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. At 50 years old, forgiving isn't an act of saintliness. It's an act of biological intelligence. It's letting go of the burden. You don't need to live with the person who hurt you, but you need to get that person out of your head. The mental space that resentment occupies is the space that's missing for your creativity and your peace. Point 5. The Superman complex. Pretending vitality. Number 5. Pretending you're still 20 years old. This is very common, especially among men. You return to football or the gym and want to have the same performance as 2 decades ago. You ignore the knee pain. You ignore the slower recovery time. The real risk today is the injury that takes you out of the game forever. The body changes. Bone density changes. Tendons lose elasticity. Accepting age is not giving up. It's playing strategically. It's exchanging high-impact exercise that destroys your joints for intelligent strength training that protects your structure. It's understanding that consistency is worth more than suicidal intensity. Don't try to impress anyone at the gym. Your 80-year-old self will thank you for preserving your knees and spine today. Train for longevity, not for ego. Point 6. Toxic friendships and isolation. Point 6. Maintaining friendships out of inertia or isolating yourself. Here comes the most impressive piece of data I want to share today. The Harvard study, the longest ever done on human life, followed people for over 75 years. The conclusion, the biggest predictor of happiness and health in old age wasn't cholesterol levels or money in the bank. It was the quality of relationships. After 40, we have a tendency to keep friends who only drain our energy. Or worse, we isolate ourselves due to the exhaustion of routine. Toxic friendships. Those people who only complain, who criticize everything, who drag you down, act like a virus in your emotional system. They increase your stress, audit your social life. It's better to have 2 friends who uplift you and with whom you can be vulnerable than 20 acquaintances who exhaust you. Real human connection is a vaccine against depression. Invest in Italiano. Point 7. The procrastination of health. Number 7. The phrase, "I'll see to it next week." Procrastination in youth delays your career. Procrastination in maturity shortens your life. Ikneo. A lady, let's call her Antena. She had a persistent little pain in her stomach. "It's just gastritis," she said. "I'll go to the doctor after my grandson's birthday. I'll go after Christmas." She put it off for 6 months. When she finally went, the diagnosis wasn't gastritis, and the treatment period had passed. At times like these, the fear of discovering something bad makes us avoid the doctor. But early diagnosis is the only weapon we have against silent enemies like diabetes, hypertension, and cancer. Don't leave it for when you can. Get a checkup. If your car has an annual checkup, why should your biological machine, which doesn't have replacement parts, be postponed? Schedule it today. Not next week. Today. Point 8. The guilt of the past. And we arrive at point number 8, the most subtle and dangerous of all. Guilt. At 40, 50 years old, it's natural to look back and see mistakes. The business that failed, the marriage that ended, the time you didn't spend with your children. Many of us live chained to what if. What if I had accepted that job? What if I hadn't said that? Guilt is an anchor that holds you back in a time that no longer exists. It prevents you from sailing into the future. Understand, you did the best you could with the awareness and tools you had at that time. You are no longer that person. Self-compassion is a requirement for mental health. Forgive your past self. It brought you to where you are today. surviving 100% of your worst days. Honor your story, scars, and all. Only then will you be light enough to live what lies ahead. The Nipah virus, which I mentioned in other videos, is a biological hazard. But these 8 habits are behavioral dangers that kill slowly, taking the color and joy out of life. Conclusion. Change hurts, but staying in the same place, watching your health and peace decline, hurts much more. You have the power to rewrite the second half of your story now. Start by sleeping better today. Call that friend who makes you feel good. Let go of that old resentment. But our best defense is a well-informed and, above all, conscious audience. If you found this information useful and important, share it with more people. Perhaps a childhood friend of yours needs to hear exactly this today. Share this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. Because here, we don't just talk about surviving, we talk about living well. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay healthy, and above all, be kind to yourself. Until next time.